My intention for this call is to talk about the incredible mantra, Drinking Up Miracles, to talk about how this Aquarius season and specifically Pluto moving into Aquarius is so similar energetically to the molecular hydrogen, which is also considered the miracle molecule. And I would like to create space for Nikki to share her experience with Drinking Up Miracles on a daily basis, or whatever she's calling it. And then just kind of muse, right? Just allow it to be what it is. And if anyone has questions or just wants to chat, we have a little bit of time for that, and we can do that too. But I love to start a call with really coming into coherence, coming into that harmony, and really calling all parts of ourselves together in the present moment. So let's just start there. So inviting yourself to really be in your body, dropping into the body, and just noticing, how does my breath feel? How does my body feel? What's going on in my mind? And what is my overall energy level? And just taking notice and just letting it be. Feeling yourself rooted and grounded through the seat or the feet. Feeling your spine gently elongating and extending up through the crown of the head. Inviting the shoulders to gently draw down and away so that the heart can shine forward. And then just tuning into the breath and inviting, while staying relaxed and at ease in the body, inviting a slower and deeper breath, just a few breaths. Calling the body and the mind and the emotions and your incredible prana or life force to all be here now with you, working together as one. And just breathing into that. Yeah, here we are, all together now. And as always, everything I offer, it's just whatever you would like. Take what you need, leave what you don't need, and yeah, we'll just be together. So, Drinking Up Miracles has been such a fun mantra to participate in as a daily practice. So just energetically, Drinking Up Miracles is like just noticing, all of the little things and the mundane moments that are actually miracles. It's like, oh my goodness, we just have these bodies. And just because we're born on earth, we are alive and we are being breathed and our hearts are beating and all of our systems are functioning and we're able to heal and regenerate, right? Just because. Like, that's a miracle. We're on this incredible, beautiful, glorious Goldilocks planet that is hurling through space in the expanding universe. And, just at the right distance from this incredible sun so that we are nourished in all of our ways. And we have these amazing seasons where we get to move through nature cyclically and on and on and on, right? Just think about, you just look around and it's like the whole thing, if we can just kind of flip to the lens of, this is a miracle, then everything gets more playful. It's like, oh, and we can infuse a little bit of magic and wonder into our day to day. And just as a mantra itself can energetically shift how we move through the world. But the reason that the mantra came forth for me, and the reason why I really wanted to make it an intentional daily practice, was because I received this incredible vessel, which we'll be talking about. It's called Cell Power by Lumavite, and it actually makes the miracle molecule alive in water. And the miracle molecule is hydrogen. And hydrogen is the first element in the periodic table. It is created all of the life that we are interacting with on this planet. And it's so vibrant and tiny and full of life and wise that it is just able to truly become this little invitation to have miracles actively happen on a daily basis within my sacred body temple, right? And it aligns me to actually embody drinking up miracles as a way of moving through the world. And so I've made it my mantra of the year. I'm coming into a devotional practice with hydration and water and this miracle molecule, and really inviting that playful wonder and awe of thinking of everything as a miracle to just elevate, right? Just enhance the experience of being alive on earth. So I just love it. And I've been really like lit up with this amazing transit with Pluto moving into Aquarius. And I was studying, and I'm no astrologer and I'm no doctor and I'm no expert, right? But just dabbling in astrology and just seeing how many similarities there are between the miracle molecule of hydrogen and the season of Aquarius, or the attributes and things that are associated with Aquarius, specifically in Pluto. And so I just want to talk a little bit about that because I think it's fun. And then we'll talk more specifically about how we're receiving this hydrogen. So, we've been talking about moving into the Aquarian age since, before I was born. And Aquarius, we're in, sun sign Aquarius in this present moment. And Pluto has just moved into Aquarius, and it's going to stay there for 20 years, but it is going to do a tiny little retrograde in September, November of this year. But then it's in. We had a little bit of that energy last year, but this year we're mostly sitting in it. And it's really just asking us to get free. Like, let's get free. Let's get free of anything that feels oppressive inside of our bodies and in the outer landscape, right? And it's like, it's this swift alignment to our true essence, to our soul self, our unique facet of the spirit. It's like, it's time to align here now. Let's get free now. And so you have this great shakeup that we've been experiencing for a number of years that is amplified by this energy. Get free, get free, get free, right? And it's like, it can be really playful and energizing and exciting if you're open to the shakeup, right? If you're open to moving into your truth. And if you're not, it's going to be like a whole different experience, right? And sometimes we have things that happen to us that kind of force us into the space that we're meant to be in, right? And if we're kind of like, I say on the path, if we've been taking care of ourselves and doing the things, right? We are taking care of our bodies and our minds, and we're moving through our daily practices, and we've seen this beautiful like evolution of our wellness and elevation of our energy fields and how we can utilize our energy to be what we desire to be. And so it gets to be really, really fun for those of us who have been on the path, because we kind of get to hold it down, be like, okay, y'all, like, we got this. And it is going to get chaotic, but like, we got this. And I feel personally, I can't speak for everyone, but that I can really stand in that truth. And I feel like this last little piece that I was missing was understanding hydration. That has just taken it, like amped it up. Like, okay, now I'm not even saying it. I'm actually embodied in that truth that we're good and we're going to thrive. And we can thrive. So what else about Aquarius? Yeah, it's just quick acting. And so the miracle molecule hydrogen is also quick acting. It's like instantaneous. You drink the hydrogen infused water, and instantly the body is beginning to elevate. We watched a call where they were showing blood samples taken before and directly after drinking this specific hydrogen water from these vessels. And it was like the blood was kind of stuck and sluggish, and like the terrain was showing that like the chi or the life force was a little bit, muddy and sort of, like veiled. And then like the immediate blood sample after, it was like the blood's like, what's and like just flowing and separate and spacious, and the space where you can see the chi or the life force or the energy that our body creates was clear and sparkly. And I'm like, is this really happening? Like, is this what's actually happening in our terrain when we say yes to hydrating with hydrogen? And they did one after another, after another, after another of these live before and after blood tests. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, like this is incredible, right? So yeah, let us swiftly align to our like authentic selves, our truth, our highest integrity. And I don't even know about highest, like our capacity to be our full selves in the present moment, right? With the support of the simplest wellness tool I found. The simplest, it's like, I don't have to take all these supplements and I don't have to do all this other stuff. It's like, just let's hydrate. I want to say one more thing about like just hydration in general before we get into the specifics of the bottle. So we live in a, modernized world where in most places, water has really gotten dead and oftentimes filled with stuff that we don't want to consume if we're taking it straight out of the tap. And so, yeah, we're drinking our 8 ounces 6 to 8 times a day, but we're not actually being hydrated because the quality of the water is awful. And even some of the filters that we're using are not able to filter out all the stuff, right? And so the type of hydration we're participating in, the type of water we're participating in is really important. And it really is the basis of our wellness practice. And I think it was kind of the last thing in my list of things to focus on. And so now it's like, oh, okay, I feel a significant difference now that I'm properly hydrating, because when we're dehydrated, even if we're hydrating with, the water that is not good, then that we're dehydrated. Dehydration causes that stagnant, stuck energy, which creates stress in the body, which creates inflammation in the body, which creates dis-ease in whatever form, right? Physical, mental, energetic. And so when we are properly hydrating, it's just that one thing. It's just the one key that we need to significantly shift out of the muck, the stuck, into vibrant, moving, seeing the miracles, feeling like we're fully thriving. And there is a significant difference in how we choose to hydrate and how it affects us, even if we're not consciously aware of it. And, the reason that we age is because we slowly get drier. And so if we can hydrate with hydrogen as this specific element that supports the water to actually hydrate our body, then we can continue to move through the world with vibrancy, as if we were, defying our age. And yeah, so Nikki, do you want to share like maybe your experience and what you have found with shifting your hydration to including the miracle molecule?
Yes, I would love to. Um, I've always been a water lover. Like I would drink and drink and drink water nonstop, but I'd never recognized how I still never felt fully hydrated despite drinking so much. I've had this beautiful bottle since right before Christmas, and it's literally shifted everything. My immune system has been boosted. In the morning, it is just the energy level. As we run, I know we haven't really talked much about the frequencies that are infused in there, but using that energy frequency in the morning, I'm like, yeah, like just like amped up without coffee, without caffeine, without anything. Um, I've noticed.
She just bopped right off. She'll come back. Um, yeah, we will talk about the actual bottle and how it has frequencies and magnets soon. But I wanted to hear, yeah, just about like I feel the same way. Like I always had a little bit of a dry mouth happening whenever I would be drinking water, just always just a little bit dehydrated. And then honestly, when the first few days I used the bottle, I was like more like feeling the dry mouth because the hydrogen was moving through and doing all the things like, oh, we're going to do this, or we're going to do this. And then we'll get to like you actually feeling hydrated, right? But we'll see what happens to her. She's bopped right off. Make sure she's good. Just one moment, please. I think she'll figure it out. Yeah. What else? Hydration before and after. I feel like here she comes. Yeah, I feel like also remineralizing water is important, which is a whole different
Sorry,
Are you here?
I'm
You just
here. I'm
flew
sorry.
away.
I'm doing this on my phone. And so a call was coming in and I hit the end, like, so that it would just go away. And I ended up canceling out of this.
But yeah, you were talking about how even though you were, hydrating, you still felt dehydrated. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It just felt like I could never get enough water, no matter how much I was drinking. Um, and I, I think the beauty of this too is just, you have to wait the 3 minute cycle or 6 minute cycle. And I love that pause because it allows you the chance to just really like come into relationship with the water that is about to infuse your body. And at first I will admit I was a little annoyed. I'm like, come on, I just like want to drink this. But then the more I recognize like just having that pause was so good for me. And just even saying, giving it a little prayer, like before you drink it, like it actually makes my body feel all tingly just thinking about it because it like truly is alive. And it like, when it enters your body, it makes you feel more alive. Um, my kids too, I've been filling up their water bottles before school with this and just like being able to do that and know I'm doing something good for them. Like, helping their immune systems during this, like there's so much stuff going around right now. And we like before we started drinking this water, they were getting sick all the time. Since they have been drinking this, there has been no sickness until yesterday. Until I had one kiddo, the thing was he got a tummy bug that I saw in a local moms group was going around. And I was like, shoot. I'm like, well, thank goodness it hasn't hit us. And he came home from school that day, like not feeling well. But his rebound, like he's home right now, but he's doing great. Like the quickness of this sickness moving through him. And I was able to just give him a ton of water and just like help his body rehydrate and all of the great things that come with that has been such like an ease of mind thing. Like just being able to have a tool like that is so impactful. And then sorry to skip around, but then I like had a roller skating injury, and it ended up turning into like this crazy surgery where I now have a metal like part in my arm. And not only has that been so traumatic to walk this, but like one of the very first therapists who saw my arm after I got that first initial cast off was so amazed by how my arm looked. She's like, whatever it is you are doing, she's like, keep doing it because it's working. She's like, normally, like if when I see an injury like this, she's like, people's hands are so blown up and swollen and like they have sausage fingers, is what she said. And she's like, you look so good. Like she was just absolutely amazed. Um, and so it is fueling this physical aspect of my body that before I never had to deal with physical pain like that before, like that I'm experiencing now. And I feel like this was literally a true blessing. I'm so glad you introduced it to me, Amanda, because like I'm just so grateful to have it. Like it's beyond. And then one other point I want to make is like as far as skin. Um, I had like this itchy spot that would come every single month. Like it was like, every time during my moon cycle, my skin would get like these itchy patches. Like I had one on my hip, and then I would get one like above my eye. And since drinking this, completely gone. And I had been working on that forever, like all through this past year, trying to like, using my other frequency device and like trying. And like since having the water hydration, it's been just a miracle, literally a miracle. And even with this post-op arm of mine, like the skin is falling off and it's so gross. And I'm sorry to describe that, but I splashed that water on there and then I look and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like completely like all the icky skin is just like gone. And so that's amazing too. Just a little extra benefit there.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And I can keep going. I'm happy to keep going.
Yeah.
There's like a million things.
I love how, the other day we were chatting and you said something like, I'm so thankful to my past self, right? For guiding
Yeah.
me.
For recognizing.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you,
Yeah, I think
like,
that's like a huge yes, like I really am. It's like you sometimes have to ask yourself if you're aware of the little treasures that come on your path and like knowing when to scoop them up. And I think we can allow ourselves to like disregard that. Um Another thing I've been learning, like leaning into has been my human design, and I'm a splenic manifester. And so I get a direct body intuitive hit when something is like worth me looking into. And that was the case with this bottle. Like it was an immediate, like, I need that. I need that in my life. And like, it did not steer me wrong. Like, I don't know what I would do without this right now. Are you really? Oh my gosh, Melissa. Oh, that's so exciting. We should talk. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just, yes, I very grateful for my past self for sure.
yeah. And I love what you said about the skin because I'm in like Florida, but I'm in North Florida. So it's kind of like there are little mini seasons, right? And I always, since I've moved here about 15 years ago, I always had this like right here on my nose, it would just get like totally dry and like, the little dry skin would just be like all over the place, peeling off literally every year for 15 years in the winter. It's just like clockwork. It just happens. And this year I'm hydrated from the inside out, finally. And there is nothing peeling off of my skin. And I guess I didn't, it's like, oh, I'm drinking this so that I can, elevate and optimize my wellness, but like actually feeling and experiencing the effects instead of just reading about how it could be true, right? It goes from like this, oh yes, if I get this, then it's going to help me with this logic. And then it becomes this embodied experience. And it's like, oh, okay. Like, okay, this is incredible. And just overall, like, I'm kind of like I'm a Vata person. I'm dry and airy and like, and I've always had like dry skin. And so just in general, the the skin just feels nourished from the inside out. And I have been doing a little daily practice with just putting a little bit of the water on my hands and just kind of doing this and letting it air dry just for fun. And it's just been beautiful as well. So it's like there's so many ways that we can come into these little rituals, come into these little practices that feel nourishing for us, that are truly supporting us. So now let's get into like what this bottle's doing. And like I said, I'm not an expert, and there's a website about it and I have a web page about it. But so this beautiful man called Nuno Nina, he is Portuguese. Has been in a wellness practitioner for many, many years. And he has his own clinic in Lisbon, Portugal, that he sees people to support their wellness. And across the board, he was seeing that no matter what he did in his clinic, if the client was dehydrated, then it wasn't going to work as well, right? And so his path then became, how do I properly hydrate my clients? And so it wasn't even about creating a product for the market at all. It was this 7-year journey of creating, inventing, perfecting these elements to create hydrogen hydration for his clients. And then he saw across the board, thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of clients have come through his clinic. Across the board, everyone had a much more profound, elevated wellness experience when he had them drinking his hydrogen water. And so he is all about the precision. He tests all of the other products on the market. He's like, I don't need to make a product if it already exists. I just want my clients to be well hydrated. But nothing was doing what it said it was doing. So like all the other supplements that are on the market, there is no regulation. There's no regulation for supplements, at least in the United States. I don't know about everywhere else. And so nobody is checking to see if there's actually vitamin D at that, rate in the vitamin D bottle that you buy at the supermarket. And there's nobody going around making sure that hydrogen vessels using electrolysis are safe or are producing hydrogen. And so that was really something that he felt strongly about, making right. Because what he was seeing in the market was the electrolysis process that is allowing the hydrogen to be ionized and infused into the water was not safe in all of the other bottles that he was seeing. They were using these membranes that were allowing other free radicals that you don't want to consume to be in the water. They were leaching metals because they were using the wrong metals. They were kind of just cutting corners to save money so they wouldn't have to charge as much, so more people would buy the product, right? But it wasn't doing its job. And so he was like, well, I have to make something then because I need my clients to thrive, right? And so that's how this came about. And so every single part of this, down to like how it's charged and like just every aspect, has been handcrafted by Nuno Nina himself and tested over and over and over again for its precision and safety by Nuno Nina himself. And he owns the factory that's creating these. He's actually showing up and testing them to make sure that the batches are being made and doing what they say they're going to do. And it's just incredible the amount of mastery that has come into this bottle. And so the base has the mechanisms for the electrolysis, which is creating the hydrogen infusion. And it also has magnets that mimic the Earth's magnetic field, which allows you to ground in and connect with the earth body that you have been blessed with. And then the water is infused with this miracle molecule. And then the lid is a frequency device. It actually structures the water with frequency. So if the water is all the way up top, and then we click this on to have it bubble, then you can also click on the top and have three different, so you've got energy, recovery, and lumavite. So I accidentally hit recovery. I guess I needed that one. So the lumavite frequency is actually a frequency that mimics the energy of the sun. And so you've got the energy of the sun via frequency. You've got the magnets to mimic the earth. And then you've got the water, right? Water is life. And so it becomes this little mini planet. It becomes liquid light, specifically when you're using the frequency lumavite. And so you're drinking up miracles. You're drinking up liquid light. You're drinking up this precise and like super meticulously handcrafted experience with all of these different things combined to hydrate you, to really allow you to get free, right? I like to think about hydrogen as this happy little thing. It's like, woo, 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 and it comes into your body, and it's actually incredibly wise. It knows what is a good thing in your body, and it knows what doesn't belong. And scientists still haven't quite figured that out, but there's thousands of scientific evidence of the qualities and the wisdom of the miracle molecule in healing and thriving in the body. So I like to think about the miracle molecule comes around, and there's like this thing in my body that's like, I'm not good. I don't belong, but I'm going to be in here and like cause disharmony, right? And the molecule just comes up and it's like, hello, we're just going to grab you, dislodge you, and take you out. And so that's what's happening, right? When we're drinking this water, specifically because we know that it's safe and we know that it's actually producing the hydrogen that is needed for our body within the cup of water that we're activating, and it's moving through. And so some people have, drink the water and they immediately feel some, sensations in their head because they've got stuff that they need to move in their head. Maybe they have headaches, or maybe they have a lot of anxiety. Some people, maybe they have stuff stuck in the chest or the shoulders and back or the root or the womb or wherever it is. And it's just this wise little molecule. And it's just like, we're just going to bop around. And the thing that I learned in that blood call where they were doing the live samples was that when you drink the hydrogen water, it's just training your terrain, like the terrain of your body, the terrain of your blood, to be well, to be working the way that it's meant to work. And so the daily practice of training the body to be well in its natural state, right, invites that alchemy process to begin. And then instead of, right, so personally, I've spent a lot of time in pain and, I guess, despair. And in the last 6 years, I've worked myself out of that. But that was my normal. My normal was pain and despair. And that was the terrain of my body, right? And so how are you going to act in that terrain, everybody? We're going to not be in harmony. But when we begin to train our body, we begin to actually tell our energy systems, our incredible life force energy, let's be well. Let's be well. Let's be well. Every day, all day, let's drink up miracles and thrive. Then we just alchemize to become thriving beings once more. And that's what I'm super excited about with this daily practice. What else do you want to share, Nikki?
I was just gonna say, another thing that really is I know many of us women do this. We just hold so much tension in our neck and our shoulders and in our backs and our spines. And before my injury, I couldn't rotate my head fully in a circle without just a lot of pain there. And after a couple weeks of drinking this water, I was able to do like full, like I had never felt so loose. Like all of the tension like evaporated. And I just felt like that was such a profound shift too. Like, I mean, I'm not someone who probably dealt with physical pain like you, Amanda, but like that was my normal, was kind of being this tense ball of stress oftentimes. And like this helped everything just like calm down and feel more rooted and relaxed. And so I love it. I just can't. One other really quick thing is like how I even like got onto this path of healing through like frequency and hydration is my daughter actually had severe skin issues with eczema. And so I was taking her to a homeopath who actually did frequency with her for the first time. And that it's interesting because she always said, even with all of her clients, like the biggest root of that was dehydration. Like almost all, like 10 out of 10 times, it's because our bodies are dehydrated. And so like since my daughter has been drinking this too, like her digestion has improved dramatically. And then again, her skin stuff, she's just looking good. Through this whole little sickness thing that's going around in our community, she normally is the one to pick up a sickness first and go down really fast. And she's totally fine. And so I just really think it's all correlated. And when our bodies are hydrated enough, especially like you said, I loved how you said our bodies are adjusting to like how they're supposed to and meant to operate. And it's true. Like I feel that like on a very visceral level that even through now this healing journey that I'm on, like it is such a great support to have. And yeah, it's just incredible. I feel like everyone needs this, especially like in the Midwest where we barely see the sun during the winter. Like, woo, we've gotten it one day out of the last maybe 3-4 weeks. It was yesterday. It's kind of peeking through again right now, which is exciting. But like being able to run the Lumavitae on this and get that and drink up that sunshine has been life-giving.
That's definitely something to consider because, yeah, I mean, Melissa's from Canada, but she's in Costa Rica now. And, I'm in a warmer climate, but like, I mean, just thinking about the seasonal blues and how, you get those lights and you stand at the light like, oh, help me, and it's like, but if we actually are hydrating with the frequency of Lumavitae, the light of life, then from the inside out, we receive the sun. From the inside out, we receive that. Oh, that's so beautiful for those in the snow.
Also, yeah, I was also going to say too, even for your animals, I've been giving my dogs the Lumavitae, but also our fish. And when I put it in the fish bowl, I put the Lumavitae in the fish literally goes wild, loves it. Like it'll just start eating the bubbles at the top. Like, I mean, it's just like, I think the fish it's been so fun to like witness that. Like the thing is flourishing. And I live in a town that has horrible water. Like you cannot drink the water here. And so everyone always said like your fish is just going to die. Like you're not going to be able to like have a fish, like unless you get it filtered water and all the things. But even then, like good luck, type of thing. And this little sucker is thriving. And I'm sure it's because of this hydrogen water, because that's what I give it.
That is amazing. All right. I want to talk about one other thing that is huge for me personally. And I'm just looking at this list that Melissa actually transcribed in our last little from all the list of the benefits of molecular hydrogen. So we talked about how it's really supporting the immune system. So these are all things that are proven to be benefits from using molecular hydrogen via water, or you can actually use a ventilator with hydrogen and also receive some of these benefits. Anti-inflammatory effects. So I talked a little bit about that with the blood, right? Seeing the before and after the inflamed blood and then the free flowing, moving out of inflammation. I've been working it out with gut healing and yoga and staying warm and eating the right foods and all the things for a long, long time. So my inflammation has just been at bay for a while, but I know all about inflammation, and it is so nice to live in a body that is not on fire with pain. And if maybe the 6 year ago Amanda had access to hydrogen water, it could have gotten a lot simpler. Maybe, but I mean, that's the journey. But anti-inflammatory effects, I think that's huge. And then the anti-aging, like I said, as we age, we're just getting drier. And so, and the word anti, I'm trying to not that, but yeah, just like thriving in whatever age you are, becoming ageless, transcending time, right? Is definitely seen and felt in this practice. It's saying that it's supporting people with allergies and being able to move through allergy related instances by drinking the water, increases cellular metabolism, reduces muscle fatigue. So this is a big one. I like to use the recovery setting after a workout, and just to support the body in, working out, making the muscles bigger, but not having so much pain afterward. It's saying that it's supporting diabetic effects and cancer effects. It improves, okay, this is my favorite. It improves cognitive function and its beneficial effects on the brain. So for me, I've always kind of been, I'm a visionary. And so I have all these ideas for how I want to make the world a better place, right? But it gets me like, well, I don't know. I guess I just have too many ideas. I'll just sit here and like look into outer space. And I had a lot of procrastination and just like failure to launch stuff happening. And literally the first week I started drinking this water, it was like all of the procrastination, all of the self-doubt, all of the confidence issues, all of my like wishy-washy, wobbly, what am I going to do next? It just vanished. And I knew exactly what I was going to make. I knew exactly what I was going to create. I knew exactly what I was going to do. And there was nothing that was stopping me, right? It was like my brain was just like, let's go. And it's just like this peeling away of this, I guess, fog of procrastination. That has been my favorite part about the hydrogen. And I wanted to make sure. And then of course, it increases your energy and your ATP production. So this is supporting hydration at a cellular level. And what happens at the cells is they're like these little, they make energy. They are what makes our energetic life force that lives us and breathes us. And so when we optimize that voltage, that ATP production in the cells, then all of a sudden we have this sustainable energy to move through the world. And we don't need all that coffee, and we don't need all these, naps or whatever. We don't need to move through the world sluggish. And that was the other main thing for me. So it was like clear brain. I know exactly what I'm doing. And oh my goodness, like, like I have so much sustained energy. I could just go, 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 go. And it feels sustainable. It feels like I'm not burning out because I am hydrating my cells and they are receiving energy. So that's really the rest of what I wanted to talk about. Yeah. So the bottle is available just through affiliates. It's an affiliate product. And if you are receiving this information, if Nikki invited you or Melissa invited you or somebody else invited you, reach out to them. Let's have a conversation about how you can hydrate and thrive. And then we share information, we share stories, we gather and just really revel in drinking up miracles. It's a beautiful community and so much wisdom, so much information, so many in the field of hydrogen and regenerative health. So many people who are really, really smart in that realm have a lot of information also available if you're interested in. So I have that blood call, we have the website that has more information and specifics and studies in the scientific realms of how hydrogen is supporting significantly. And yeah, so I just appreciate you being here. I appreciate you saying yes to drinking Up Miracles and contemplating this idea of really moving through the world in this way. So yeah. Anyone else? Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Have a beautiful day and let's get free.
Thank you so much, Amanda.
Thank you.
Thank
Nice to
you.
meet you.
Good to
Nice
see
to meet
you.
you.
Bye.